Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this show from. My name is Denise Belisle, and I'm a serenity expert and positive intelligence specialist. Welcome to the It's All Good show. Lucas here for a chat. My guest today will be Katie McKay. She's a sales and marketing expert, and we're going to talk about marketing growth, personal branding, and how to grow your online presence by leveraging your personal brand. But before we go to Katie, I'd like to explain why I call this show It's All Good. Well, first of all, it's because it's my favorite cup. It's all good. I've been, I was sitting on a couch and I said, how am I going to call that show? And I was drinking my water and I was like, oh, it's all good. And then I realized that I say that every day, all the time, because regardless of what happened yesterday, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 seconds ago, I realized, as most of you did, that you can't change the past, regardless of what happened. So why get upset? Say, hey, it's all good and move on and learn from it. And the future, you can't, I don't have a crystal ball that can tell me the future and what's going to happen. So whatever happened and it's all good. So it's like, I don't know if it happened to you, but when I pack a suitcase, if I go away and I say, oh, what if I forget this? That's okay. It's all good. If I forgot it, I'll buy it or I might not need it. So it's the same thing. So live the present, accept every day as they are, and get your favorite saying, just like me, it's all good. And then we move on. And I do these shows because I like to have guests that will bring you insight on their business, and it might help you, it might support you in where you are in what you do. So let's welcome Katie right now and to the floor. Hello, Katie. Welcome to the It's All Good
Hi,
show.
thank you.
Wonderful. So Katie has helped me with building my website and working on my, appearance online. So if you go to denisebelisle.com, you'll see that, Katie is part of that. She created that. But before we go any further, I'd like to remind you, if you're watching this on YouTube after I post it there, please go and subscribe and like my channel. So this way you'll see all the other videos that I have been doing, and you will be able to see all the amazing guests that I've had for the last year and a half, pretty much 74 weeks today. So, Katie, I'm so glad that you're here today. And
Thank you.
please introduce yourself and tell people what is a sales and marketing expert. I think people know, but
Little
why does it make you special? So, the floor is
oh,
yours.
thank you. Hi everybody. I'm Katie McKay. I have been running Chewy Media with my business partner for I've been doing it for almost 8 years now,
Mhm.
and a lot has changed along the way. But something that I'm really passionate about is building yourself up, building your brand online. Because when you make it about you, because you are your business, it can go that extra mile. It can go that extra step. So I'm really excited about helping people get that voice. And one thing that you mentioned in your intro was about accepting where we are and accepting the now. And that's interesting that you say that, because I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, that I've just been practicing like radical acceptance.
Mhm.
We are here, the things that people are doing, you accept them, you don't have to like it, but we're just accepting right now and going with the flow. And I think that marketing does that a lot, is about going with the flow, is about being in that present and sharing where you are and all of those little things that come together to build your personal branding and what you bring to your industry. So it was interesting that you brought that up. I thought it tied in really nicely.
Oh yes, wonderful. And tell me what made you to start working on marketing and sales? How did that start? I know you started 8 years ago, but how did that go
You know
about?
what? It was funny. So I've always been in sales, like sit from the beginning. I've done like little sales jobs here and there. And it was something that I was really good at. I joke it's because I don't stop talking, and so eventually something's gonna stick. And then when I used to work at with young kids with autism, and when I was in that job, I actually got pregnant, and so my business partner, my ex-husband, I was
Mhm.
pregnant at the time.
Oh, Katie's frozen on my end.
And
There you
then,
go.
when I was sitting there doing nothing, I was like, let me do some stuff, let me start doing updates. Let me start talking to the customers because it's something I never went back after my maternity leave. I took all that time to learn as much as we just haven't stopped. He does a lot of the behind the scenes, the heavy lifting of building, and then I together to help people grow because that's something that I absolutely love.
Okay,
That's
Katie, we have a little bit of connection problem. You've been cutting out here and there and frozen. Like right now, you're frozen. I don't know if you can hear me.
saw that.
So can you check it in the settings, see if there's anything you can adjust or on
I
the
can hear you.
internet side?
I heard that we have a connection problem, and then if not,
So if you can check, because right now you get frozen. Yeah, I can hear you, but you freeze for some reason. We were
me
fine when we
too.
were chatting before the live. So
Yeah, that's so interesting. Well, can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you, but it's a little bit cutting out.
Oh,
Oh
it's showing
no.
me that it's. I don't know.
Okay, we'll keep going. So we'll see where that goes. So, but
Pick up.
but what we got from that is what I got is that you were working with kids in autism, and then you got pregnant, and then you stopped working, and then Jeremy was doing the work that he does, and it was like, well, I'm bored. Help me, let me help you. Let me do some work with that, and then you just got going, and you never started. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so it just snowballed, and I wanted to take in as much information, and it really melded in with what I was doing about what it comes down to is helping people,
Yeah,
and what we do online, it helps people grow their business because when we're helping these small businesses and medium-sized businesses, it's helping put money back into the community. It's helping
yeah.
grow families. It's helping the core of that business. And that was something that we found that we were really, really passionate about was that growth.
Yeah.
And because it extends so much further than just like beyond right here. And that was something that, I just loved. And that's where the marketing growth and strategy and helping people came into play. Is it something
Mhm.
we melded our passions?
Yeah. And I've met you because we were doing some networking together. And but I remember like even the year before we met, you won an award. So what was that award about?
That was Business Mom of the Year.
That's pretty
For
cool
the women
because
of worth. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you were
You know what's really funny about that is it's something that I was absolutely mortified of at the time. I dropped my award on stage and watched it roll away. Just absolutely mortified. And it just sums it up because it's like, you know what? I dropped it. We're going to go and pick it up and we're just going to keep going. Let's laugh about it and then carry on,
and that's how life is, right? Like it's not
Yeah.
always perfect and life is not always, the way you plan, but hey, we adapt, we move forward with it, we radical acceptance, right? We
Yeah.
accept the way things are and then we just move on and we make the
Yeah.
best of things. It's not
Yeah,
one
and of course
little
I had
hiccup.
somebody there. Of course I had somebody there that got it on video and sent it right after. I was like, "Thank you so much for that."
I think I was there actually when you received your award because I was invited by a common friend of ours, and then I didn't know you then, but I remember you going on stage. So that's pretty cool.
Good.
So tell me,
Good.
why is it that's important that people personal brand like work on their brand? Like why? Like somebody say, well, it doesn't matter who I am and whatever, it's my business, right? But why is personal brand so important?
Like, there's a difference between so first of all, there's a difference between having a personal brand and then working on your own personal branding, right? So a personal brand is how others see you and others experience and what they perceive of your business. But your personal branding is your messaging and what you are putting out into the world. And one of the things that's so important about having this personal branding is it builds credibility, it gets your market around you. And when you have that, when you have your people, growth happens naturally. People will be able to refer people to you that need you. You build that trust, you build that credibility. People know who you are and what they're getting. But when you do that, you're able to market to those people.
Mhm.
You're able to be honest. You're able to be yourself. And I think that that's what's really important. And where a lot of people struggle is when they're trying to be something they're not. They're trying to put on this false front. They're trying to be just what they think everybody else wants. And when you can kind of take that mask off and say, no, this is who I am, this is what you're getting, let's get down to it and work together, it's powerful. And then you're able to get that target market. You're able to then
Mhm.
talk to your target market and know
Yeah.
the language that they want to hear and what they just because it's natural to you. And when things come naturally, business will come naturally. And then it's just, you're able to grow from that. And you have a point of reference, making sure that everybody's on the same page. You're able to keep that foundation and
Yeah.
build on that.
Yeah, it's very important because I've had some talks actually about that with other people. And if you act a certain way when you're online, but once you turn off the camera and you're a totally different person, that's a big disconnect. and
Yeah.
and it's hard to keep up after a while, right? Like,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
because it's like the old saying is, right? Telling lies, you have to keep tracks of all the lies that you say, but when you tell the truth, then it's the truth. It's just the way it is, and it's a lot easier to be natural, to be yourself, to be who you are. And if you drop the f-bomb here and there, well, that's who you are, and that's how people perceive you and know you. And some people accept it. Oh, I was not pointing finger, Katie. No, no, no. But
Okay.
but then it's just the way it is, right? Like being totally natural. And and it's so much easier when you're able to be yourself and accept who you are. I think a lot of time people, they have a hard time to accept how they are, because how they are, that's how people see them on a daily basis, and they try to change that image. It's okay to improve, if you want to improve yourself and then you become that new person, that you want to change to. It's all good. We all change, we all metamorph into, grow into life. But if it's just a mask or a facade, eventually the mask fall off, and then people's like, what, who the hell is that lady?
Yeah, absolutely. And that comes across. It's unconscious. People are not
Yeah.
going to be like, "Hey, you know what? Behind the scenes, they won't know, but they will have those inconsistencies and the incongruencies that whether it comes across in your messaging or even with blogs or something like that.
Yeah.
That's why it's important if you're writing your blogs to write like you speak.
Yeah.
When make it so that people like if you're talking like this in a very conversational way, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I've posted this blog, go read it. And it's very structured and very tense and there's going to be a disconnect. They're either going to think that someone else wrote it and that it's not you,
Yeah.
or
Which
they're going
happened.
to read it and go, yeah, or they're going to go, which one is this? Who
Yeah.
who is it that I'm
It's a
getting?
real person.
And yeah, and so it's all unconscious, it's all behind the scenes. People aren't going to necessarily pick up on it so overtly, but they will say, "Oh, you know what? I want this person, but I'm not sure who I'm going to get."
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
important
sure.
to stay consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, for example, for me, I'm a serenity expert, right? But if I was to go online and start ranting and discrediting people here and there, then that would be like totally out of character, right? That would be
And
like,
it's not going
what?
to make sense.
No, it's not making sense. Like, why is she so negative? Why, like, she's a serenity expert, and I don't do that. And it's not because I don't want to do it. I just don't do it. But
Just don't
it's
do it.
just like, for example, right? Like, you see someone that they portray a certain image, and then they go and one post could ruin your career if you have a big follow up, and then they see that. It's like, whoa, what the
Yeah.
hell?
And I think that in situations like that, right, you're still human. You're
Yeah.
still going to get frustrated and you're going to get, you're going to be angry sometimes. And so, from a marketing perspective, taking that and saying, I was really frustrated today. This is something
Hmm.
that happened. And
Yeah, it's
here's
a
what I
different.
did.
Yeah.
Here's what I did to get myself out of that. Here's how you can do the same next time you're feeling this way because you're still human. I think that
Oh, yeah, for
marketing
sure.
humanizes you. It
Yeah.
makes you makes you a person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you were talking earlier about, how you come across and you can reach your target audience. And so what is the best way to find who's your target audience and how do you market to them?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways. I know that we joked before that I don't do enough video. That video is so important because
Mm.
it gets you in front of people. Blogging, you can take one piece of video content, you can turn that into a blog, you can put it on your social media, you can put it on YouTube and LinkedIn, you can make a post about it on Instagram. All of these, it casts a wide net, but it's casting a wide net, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's going to reel some people in. So making sure that you are hitting all of those things, learning about where your target market spends their time. Personally, I don't like Twitter, so I'm not going to focus a lot of my energy. Focus your energy
Sorry
on
for those
where.
that are watching on Twitter, but you can still reach her.
I'm
We on.
sorry, you could just somewhere else. Okay, email. Just do email. I'll get the Twitter message eventually. I promise. Um, But making sure that you're out there, making sure that you're making those connections and building that referral network and asking, "Hey, do you know anybody that needs this?"
Yeah,
Or telling people that you know, "This is what I'm really focused on right now. This is where I am wanting to spend my energy." And then people will know because they won't know. You have to talk about it. You have to say what you're doing.
yeah.
And then, you know what? Once you get all of that, you get the foundation and you know what your plan is, start running ads. Honestly, run ads, get the funnel in and have run a couple tests with it. Like marketing should be fun. Marketing
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it shouldn't be something that's this big heavy thing. It should be something that you add to your day and make a part of you building up that personal brand.
Yeah, yeah. So when we do advertisement, and what I heard in the past, and like I'd like you to elaborate on that. I was
Yeah.
saying that because we talk about a niche, and for those that don't know, like a niche is like a target market, like whomever you want to talk to, and your specific message to that person.
Yeah.
And but what I've heard in the past is that you don't like people, because I go to a networking event and then people say, well, I help everyone. I can help everyone. Like I can help everyone personally, right? Of course I can, like a man come to me, a woman come to me, like it could be 50 or 20 or 15, I can help them. But the target audience is who you market while you do an advertisement or when you
Yeah.
build your website. So how does that work? How do you specifically go and talk to these people or identify them?
Yeah. So first of all is I've got a couple of worksheets actually. I didn't mention this before. I've got a couple of worksheets that people can run through and how to find and how to get specific on your target market because it's not always it's not always only about the money.
Hmm.
Okay? The money will come when you find your people.
Yeah.
So, especially if you've been doing this for a little bit, you can look back and see who you liked working with. You can, on your website, you can create separate landing pages. So, for us, for example, a few different industries that we're in, we work with coaches,
Yeah.
we work with, different tradespeople, so plumbers and home renovators. So, what you can do is individual landing pages on your website that are talking to those people. And then when you're running ads, yeah, you can get really specific with your ads. So it depends on how wide of a net you want to cast.
Yeah.
But with your advertising, especially on Facebook and Instagram, you can say, I want people within the age ranges of 25 to 40, women that have kids that, you can get very specific. You can target to income ranges. And so if
Yeah.
you are someone that says, look, I don't, you might want to in the beginning, but down the road, look, I want to work with people that have the money to invest.
Hmm.
Right? You can base it off of their interests, things that they're following. You've probably noticed it on Facebook when you've Google searched something and then a competitor pops up, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, ah, I see you. It's because they were able to target you based on your interests, based on your
Yeah.
viewing history. There's a lot that you can target. Um, Google is quite specific as well, but Facebook is, because you've got your Facebook profile,
Yeah.
you can they can get a lot of information from you. So please be kind with how you use this. But if someone goes to your website, for example, Denise, you can have something called Facebook retargeting. And then what that would do is it would send ads to those people within the 30 days after they viewed your website. And so like it's top of mind, because not every ad is a like immediate sale.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's going to be a process about
Repetition.
building
Yeah.
that trust and learning who you are and just kind of being in their face a little bit, being like, I am here and I am here and I am here. And
I'm
they're going to
still
see you
here.
and they're going
Yeah.
to say, hey, this is now a name I recognize.
Yeah. Well, that's a great technique because, as you said, people are not necessarily going to sign up for you the first time they meet you, but the more they get to know you, to like you and trust you,
I can trust.
then that's when you build a rapport with people. And
Yeah,
then they will
absolutely.
eventually they say, hey, that Katie girl, like I really want to, I like how she is and bubbly and, like I want to work with someone like that. I don't want to work with a nerd that is like, good thing they never see Jeremy. No, sorry, Jeremy. He's not a nerd. He's a great guy. And but what I'm saying is that they see you and they say, oh, I want to work with her, and I think she could be a good fit for what I need. And the
Right. And
more we
it's about and every industry is going to have their things, but if you know like the type of person that you want to work with and know the type of service that you need, if you can find somebody that can meld those two together, it can be really powerful, because
yeah.
then when you build up that trust, like I've had clients come to me and in a meeting, they'll say, hey, this is really heavy on me right now. Do you mind if we just talk about this for a minute? And it's something
Hmm.
completely separate and unrelated, but they know that it's like, okay, let's hold that space for a minute.
Yeah.
And then once it's out there, let's carry on and let's really grow with this. And that's something that has been something that's really important to me, is especially since I'm working with so many small businesses where they are their business and their business is their livelihood. It could be the difference between eating and not, or making rent and not.
Yeah.
It's not about buying their third or fourth, boat. It's about getting their kids in dance class. It's about
Yeah. Yeah.
feeding their family, and like, you know what? Let's, instead of just that, let's get you for your next vacation. Like,
Uh-huh.
what's
Uh-huh.
the next thing? Let's go
Yeah.
forward. How can we do that? Because that is so much fun to do. Is like,
Yeah.
where can we go from here? And marketing is such a cool avenue to make that happen.
Hmm. That's very nice because yes, it makes it like you and Jeremy are almost like a mom and pop shop, right?
Mhm.
Like you're close to your customer. They're not just a number. Okay, take the line. You're the third one in line. Wait your turn and all that. I mean, it's more of a personal approach. And whenever people need help, like I can vouch by experience. Like there's time I sent an email to Jeremy like at 11 o'clock at night because I was stuck, and then the next day he said, "Okay, Denise, what have you done?" Because I tried to change some things on my own, and then it turned out to be a
Let's
disaster. And he said, "Let me
let's
fix
use
that."
the backup that we've taken for you.
Yeah, let me fix that for you.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool. But tell me, what makes a successful website? Like when people, what makes it that it works for you? How does that work?
Right. So having a website is it's first of all, having a website is more important than not. Okay. You want to be able to have that home base for your business.
Yeah.
Um, your Facebook is a little bit more personable, where you can share your day to day. I personally think that email is even more personable than
Hmm.
that, but having that website is your home base. So um you really want to make sure that there's a couple things that are on your site. Okay. You want to make sure that your messaging is really clear, because
Yeah.
when your messaging is clear, your audience can put themselves in the shoes and be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this would help me. Like, you want them to be able to see themselves using your service and
Hmm.
showing that you solve the problem that they're having. Because
Yeah.
everybody, I don't wanna say everybody has problems, but if they're coming and looking for your service, chances are that there is a need that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
So what really makes a successful website is showing people how you can fill those needs, how you offer this, how you can help, and how you can make their problem go away is ultimately what you want to do. You want to make it pretty. There's an element to it where you want it to be pretty, you want it to look good because people like pretty things, but you need the content and the meat of it to be there as well. It's both of them are really important.
Yeah.
When people started building websites, you know, ages ago, they used to have everything popping up and they used to have the sounds that would automatically play. And like people don't want that now, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so kind of making sure that you're going with what's current is important, and knowing what people are doing, it's people like the wider layouts now. People are on their phones. You want to make sure that it's working on your
And it's
phone. Make
phone
sure that it's
friendly. Yeah.
yeah, right. You want to make sure that the visuals are going to work across all platforms,
Hmm.
because universal accessibility will deliver success. Accessibility is so important across all platforms, across for everybody, because you don't want anyone to feel excluded. You
Yeah.
want to make people
Yeah.
feel a certain way, right? Because that's going to run their decision making, is how
Of
you
course.
make them
Of
feel,
course.
and that's what people are going to remember.
Yeah.
Like and me speaking personally, I've looked at websites and I've looked at the way people are running their business, and I've looked at people just in general, and I'm not one that remembers like specifically what people said, but I do remember the context and how it was delivered and how I felt after. Like those things are really important to me, and you can translate that into your website 100%.
Hmm.
You want your call to action buttons to stick out, because when people are going through your website, you basically have to say, hi, contact me, please just
Uh-huh.
message me. People need to be told what to do next. And
Yeah.
so having landing pages that go to your contact page or send an email or show, hey, this is the phone number, however you want people to contact you, needs to be on your website. You need to be easy to contact. You have no idea the amount of websites I've seen that have no contact information, and people are just sitting there like, okay, I don't
So
know what to
then
do now.
how do I get a hold of it? Or you have to really dig in and really look for that
Yeah,
information. And people, they don't want to do that.
yeah.
They want it to be.
And after all of that, like make sure you put your picture up there. People want to see a face. They want to know who they're working with, and make like have that personable piece. And also make sure your website's fast. It seems simple, but making sure that your hosting and what you're doing there is not going to slow down your website,
Hmm.
because this is a really fast-paced world. People want to be able to go onto your website, find the information quickly, make it easy to go through so that they know. People will often know what they're looking for. You need to
Yeah.
make it so that people can find it quickly.
Yeah. They don't
And
want to
then
see the little wheel turning for 30 seconds. It's like,
no, people will click out. It's only about 3 to 5 seconds.
yeah.
If it's not loaded in that time, people will be like, "Oh, okay, I'm not doing this."
Yeah. Yeah.
So those things combined, it's a bunch of little pieces that really does snowball into a successful website.
Yeah. And it makes a difference when you hire someone that actually seen and done hundreds and thousands of websites, because then first of all, what's fresh, what's present, what's today's, right? And how to have people be interested into the website, right? That made such a
Yeah.
big difference.
Yeah, we had somebody that came to us, it was about a week or no, it was a week before Christmas, and she said, "I've had so many people look at this, and, I've had I need professional help right now. I don't know what to do." And Jeremy looked at it and said, "Oh, this is what's going on with it," and was able to fix it in 10 minutes. And she said, "I've been fighting with this for weeks,
Uh-huh.
weeks of
Uh-huh.
frustration and weeks of just anger with this one thing." And Jeremy said, "I've seen that before. No problem. We'll get it fixed." And was able to then, solve the problem in 10 minutes, was then able to fix the problem, her weeks of frustration in an afternoon, right?
Yeah.
So it
So
makes a
that's
big
the
difference.
thing. Yeah. And often people feel that, oh, I can do it myself, but how much is your time worth? Right? How
Yeah.
much, like,
Well,
if, let's say, if you feel that you're worth, I don't know, $50 an hour, and then you try to do something and you spend 10 hours on it, right? That's a lot of
Absolutely.
money, right? That you could
Absolutely.
have paid someone to do, and he would have done it for a fraction of the cost, really.
And not only that, like, I would say that if you're spending 10 hours actively working on it, there's still because we our entrepreneur brains don't turn off. I don't know about you, I don't know about anybody watching. My brain is just constantly going. Hi, Penny, do you see her commenting? She says, "Oh, look at who's in the house. Hello, it's me. Hi." But yeah, because like it's when you're an entrepreneur, your brain doesn't always turn off. So if you're constantly thinking about this problem, if it's constantly like go, 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 and then that 10 hours of actively working on it is suddenly 20 or suddenly more because now you're losing sleep because you're just so
Yeah,
frustrated. And
yeah,
then if you're not sleeping well, it just that snowballs too. It's not even snowing, but everything's snowballing. Because so much mental energy, you just become exhausted over something that could have been fixed so quickly, so easily. Sometimes it just costs a little bit of money, but I think that it's important to think about how much money you can make on the other side of that now that
yeah,
your problem's fixed, right?
yeah. And then all the time you spend doing that, you could have done something more productive for your own business that makes
Yeah,
you money and that brings income to pay for the little fee to have someone to do it for
exactly.
you, right? I mean, it's crazy
Exactly.
when you think about it. Well,
Yeah,
that's
it
awesome.
definitely it's like it impacts so many different things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's great. So tell me how one last tip that somebody that, is thinking of hiring a specialist to do their website or marketing, like what's one last tip you would like to give them?
It's important to do your research and make sure that you're working with people that you can build that relationship with and build that trust. Know what it is that you're looking for and how that looks for you, whether it is, a full e-commerce website or maybe you don't know where to go, find someone that can help you figure out that roadmap and
Mm,
figure out that plan of like, if you're floundering and you're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do next," find someone that can help you with that and find groups that will be able to support you and, other entrepreneurial friends that will say, "Hey, I get it. Here's something that worked for me."
mhm.
And then, yeah, when you find that professional that you want to work with, build that relationship and everybody's successful. I think it's really important.
Well, that's fantastic. And so I see, like, I see how people can reach you. So I'm going to show that there. So if you're interested, and you're welcome, I imagine, to have chat with people and so that you can explore with them, right? So you said you had a couple of sheet that you could send people to, right? That we didn't talk about. So can they email you there and get the
That you mentioned. Yeah, so the one that we mentioned was the um finding your target market and how to really hone down on who your target market is, who you should be suggesting
Mhm.
or who you should be marketing to.
Marketing too?
But we also do have a free website audit on our website so that you can audit your site. It pulls up things like site speed and how your site's laid out and how like it's got a really cool AI features in there that sees how people perceive it and all that kind of good stuff. So we do have a free website audit. Thank you for posting it there. 𝑽𝑚edia.com/website dash audit. And yeah, just put in your website. You'll get a PDF. And then what I'll do is I'll send you that PDF so that we can have a chat about it. And I do offer a free 30-minute strategy so that you can figure out what steps to
That's
take
awesome.
next based on that report. And we can really, I don't know, take your site to the next level.
Wonderful. But I guess there's so many possibilities, but I imagine people that have a already have a website, like you doing the audit, many solution can come out of that. But I imagine there's time where, let's say, it's a 1970 website, which doesn't exist because there was no website
I
back
was
then. But
gonna say,
you know,
that's impressive.
like a 2000 website, and they've been keeping it up and all that and patching it there. Sometime you need to have a brand new website, right? But people say, oh, I don't have money for that, but it's not that expensive, right? I mean,
You know what?
it's an investment into your business.
It doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, we do have leasing options as well. If you're like, listen, let's do this over the course of a year or two, and let's slow burn this and build it together. We do have leasing options available as well,
Oh, that's
just
available.
to
That's
make it.
awesome.
Yeah, there was one thing that we were looking at, especially during COVID. We're like, okay, we know the importance of being online,
Yeah,
right? We know that that's where everybody was going, especially, I think we really saw it before COVID. And then when COVID hit, it was like, oh, wow, we need to be
it is
online right
definitely
now.
a way. Yeah,
But people were scared. So we're like, okay, what can we do to help? So we got a leasing package where we build your site, little investment up front, but then it's monthly so that you can build your site, you can have your site, it's yours, and then we work together to build it along the way so that the initial dollar sign is not as scary
that's
and you're
great.
not like left on your own to be like, here's your site, bye. Good luck.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun, figure it
Good
out,
luck.
see ya. No, we do have, like, those support packages as
Yeah.
well, which we've found have just been so important for people, in terms of growing their business. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. It was so good to reconnect with you, Katie. We used to work a
I
lot together
appreciate it.
pre-COVID, but then COVID hit and people like walk away and then we're talking again. But she did my
Yeah,
website during COVID, which was pretty cool. So
yeah, yeah.
that was a great occasion to do that.
Thank you for having me on, I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So I'll be right back to you, Katie. So thank you for listening. I hope you get great value out of. Again, I'll show you the information on how to reach Katie. Here we go. Send her an email, and also you can have the website audit. So you can do that and be in touch with Katie. So again, if you're interested in knowing more about what I do, go on my YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and you'll have more information about what I do. And I welcome you if you want to know more about me even deeper with talking one-on-one. Like I welcome you to book a call with me, talk with Denise at tiny.cc. So it will be a pleasure to have you and have a little chat with you. I'm here every week, every Monday around 12 noon. And I welcome you to watch the show next week. Or if you're watching on YouTube, like there's a series of 73 other video that you can watch, and invite you to watch some of them too. So until next time, be kind to one another and have a fabulous week. Goodbye.